AEW Double or Nothing is in the books, and it was a hell of a show. Hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome back to the review show where keeping it real goes right. Welcome back to Real Take Wrestling's review of AEW Double or Nothing 2024, the 5th anniversary of AEW. And honestly, there's no one better to talk about this show with than Kenny Baum. Kenny Baum from Kiss the Ring, trademark. How you doing, my man?
Doing really well. It's not trademark yet, but y'all don't take it. But I'm doing good, man. This was a crazy show tonight, as you would expect from AEW, but beautiful, brilliant show as usual.
Brilliant, nutty, insane. What the hell happened? There's a lot of ways to describe this show, Kenny. But one thing's for damn sure. I think a lot of people out there, if they're being honest with themselves, were entertained by this show.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
All right. Well, I mean, let's get into there's so much to talk about. I don't even know how we're going to cover Anarchy in the Arena. You and I were like going back and forth in text saying like, oh, well, damn, that's crazy. And then,
hope you got notes and bullet points.
Well, that's okay. I got an entire bit on that they were going to go do in a bit. But guys, so much happened on the show. If you're just joining us, be sure to smash that like button, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Also, go check out the link in the description for Kenny Baum's channel as well. And let us know in the comments, the chat, whatever, how you felt about this show. Kenny, we got to start off with the biggest news story coming out of this show. That being, not only
Gangrel came back. I was so happy, man.
Gangrel had come back. I mean, hey, we called it. We called it. YouTube.com/Kiss the Ring YT. We called it. And it happened. Well, another thing that, I called did happen here. MJF made his return to All Elite Wrestling. The last time, Kenny, that he was in that AEW ring, we were at that show in Long Island, New York at AEW World's End. That's when he lost his world title. What did you think about MJF's return tonight?
Caught me completely off guard. I know you told us, you know what, y'all, MJF is ready, but I was like, no way. We knew he was injured after World's End, but after we heard that recent story about him having surgery, I thought he was going to be out until like December of this year. But this caught me off guard, and the fact that they got physical even left me more surprised. So I love it.
Well, you mentioned the they, so let's talk about what the hell happened. So this was after the International Championship match, which we'll talk about later on in the show, but we have Adam Cole come out and seemingly like angry, you would think, about Roderick Strong losing the belt. And he comes out, kind of takes TV time or whatever. And he's like talking about how he's better than you, baby, doing all that kind of stuff. He's got the devil mask with him. And he claims that in AEW, there really is only one devil. And that causes a bit of a conundrum because then the real devil revealed himself as the lights go out and we hear MJF's beautiful music. Beautiful, uncopyrighted music, by the way. That's the officially unofficial intro to OT Graps on Tuesdays. We hear MJF's theme song come in, and the roof off of the MGM Grand Garden Arena, just like it was 5 years ago when Moxley came out, came the F off, Kenny. This was an amazing pop, an amazing, spectacular moment. And we saw a bit of a different type of MJF. Instead of coming out with, the suit and the scarf that we are so used to seeing him in, bro came out with that Triple H 2000.
Hold on, before you get too far in. You buried the lead because I'm a details guy.
Go for it.
And when the lights went off, the Titantron showed us MJF. I guess it was his house or whatever. It was like a mannequin with the scarf around it. I love the detail because I felt like they were just teasing us, and maybe Adam Cole was just going to disappear, and then we'd get MJF later. But they showed us him take the ring off the mannequin, and then we heard like a remix version of his music, and then the music hit. And that's really just everything. Me taking this all into my senses of, ooh, this is happening. This is teasing, and then it actually happening. It was just a perfect, beautiful picture, man. Beautiful picture they painted. But then you can go ahead. He came out, and there were some more important details.
This is why I got you on the show. I could not do this by myself. There's way too much that happened on the show. But yeah, like that happened, and like in the background of that too, like you saw like different artifacts, right? Like There was the oxygen tank that he hit Bryan with at Revolution 2023.
Yep.
There was, the photo of Adam Cole and MJF that was ripped up in MJF's pocket that he put together. That was an amazing, amazing intro. Thank you for bringing that up. And then we hear the music. MJF comes out, and he's looking like Triple H in 2002. There were a lot of people.
Kind of. He had the jacket on, but look, Triple H in 2002 was like Shrek.
Well, look, MJF came out.
He was jacked.
That man was hella tan, Kenny. That's all I'm going to say. That man was hella tan.
And jacked.
You could argue a little bit too tan, but we're not going to go there.
Yeah, I saw them cooking him.
Okay. So he comes out. A lot of people online were losing their minds saying, oh, look at him ripping off Triple H. I'm like, ripping off is a little bit of a stretch. I think it's more of an homage than anything else. Like, one of the things people always, I think, forget about wrestling is like a lot of what everyone does is just like an homage to or, inspired by things that happened in the past. And for MJF, man, like he's a big Triple H fan. He said it before. And I think this was more of a signal like, hey, watch what's about to happen because I'm about to crown myself in this moment. And that's exactly what happened. He comes to the ring, Kenny, and he confronts Adam Cole, who still, by the way, is not medically clear. And that's a shoot. He is not medically cleared right now. And Adam Cole is begging for mercy. He goes in for a hug. MJF actually follows through and gives him a hug. And then...
boom!
Yep, he drops him. First, he gives him a little low blow, and it's like the most comical.
Oh, yeah, the low blow.
Yeah, he was like, come on, buddy. Like, who do you think I am? Gives him the low blow. He then drops him right on his freaking neck. MJF is back, baby. He looked jack. And at this point, I'm thinking, like, all right, cool. Like, he's back. We're going to hear from him on Dynamite. That's great.
Yeah.
Nah.
Nope.
Kenny, like Tony Khan said, you're not just you're cutting a promo. There's like 20 minutes, go. And they cut a promo on a pay-per-view. And I have some highlights here from things that MJF said, because he noted how when he was friends with Adam Cole, this was like the first time in his life he had trusted someone. And now all that shit is out the window. He doesn't care about that. He's not trusting no one anymore. And he basically says, we're going back to the way things used to be. This is the old MJF. Remember the old Stone Cold? This is the old MJF we're getting right now. And among the many, many notable things that he said in this promo, I actually have some notes here because, God, this was insane. Quote, I don't need a New Japan or a Vince McMahon to make MJF. MJF.
How do you feel? How do you feel? Well, yeah. How do you feel about the Vince McMahon quote?
MJF made MJF. Right. How do I feel about which one?
About because it seems like every time MJF comes out and he cuts these promos, he always has to reference WWE every time.
Well,
when he did the Vince McMahon thing and everybody popped, I'm like, oh, okay, there was the WWE pop of the promo.
Well, that wasn't a WWE
you feel like he does
pop.
That too much?
I think it was more of like a dig. Like I mean, like here's the thing, right?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
No, I'm gonna say it seems like guys like MJF or Ricky Starks, they'll do the little WWE digs in the promos to get those pops. And I feel like MJF kind of does it every time he does one of these big promos. So I was just wondering do you feel like he needs to cut that out? Is he at the point where he doesn't need that at this point, or do you think it's necessary?
I mean, like here's the thing. I think with MJF, or whenever you have these moments, right? It kind of depends on like the story and everything. AEW is the second company. Like we have established that it is what it is, right? Like, and they always have been. They are always going to take more shots at WWE than WWE will at them, right? It's just the way, the natural order of things.
Right.
But with this specific shot, I thought it was actually effective because MJF has actually like railed against indie and New Japan wrestling just as much in his promos as he has like Vince McMahon and WWE. People only really pay attention to the WWE parts, right? Like when he talks about the jolly old Saint Nick and all that crap. They forget that this man is just like, who the hell watches New Japan? He's been railing against New Japan Pro Wrestling for years, but I mean, it is what it is. I thought for what he was trying to say and the point he was trying to get across, it was effective. And look,
Yeah.
you're gonna try to do the shock and awe. If Cody Rhodes could have the Undertaker come out and help him in the main event of WrestleMania, I'm not minding this. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, you know what? I don't mind it. And he did make a great point with it as well, because he said, I don't need the New Japans or Vince McMahon's to make me. He is an AEW homegrown guy, and he's the biggest star in the company. So nobody else made him. We hear how the crowd reacted when he came out, and nobody else really gets reactions like that. So homegrown star, and he made him himself. So, I'll let him have it.
What do you think about this take that I have? I think MJF is the best talent in all of wrestling. In WWE, AEW, all of it. He's the best talent. Like, there's no one who is as good of, like, as five-tool of a player as MJF. Like, he's got everything.
So you would put him above, you know what? I think you're right. I don't think he's the biggest star, but he has the most star potential, I would say. Because if you look at a presence of Roman Reigns and put it next to MJF, even though Roman Reigns can't really cut a promo, he's still kind of like a bigger presence, I would say, than MJF is.
Yeah, presence-wise, sure. And I think a lot of that is going to happen because he was champion for like 3 years. Like that's gonna be like a thing always. But if you're asking me, right, like who is the most talented like wrestler on the planet, it's MJF. I think he's the best promo like in all of wrestling. Like I don't even think it's close. Like Paul Heyman, actually, I'll say Paul Heyman and MJF dominating on promos constantly.
A bit overrated. Now we might be.
Go watch the Hall of Fame speech again and tell me that again. Go watch the Hall of Fame speech and tell me that again.
Oh boy, he was just cursing to kind of get pops, man. I mean, shouts out to him.
Shouts out to him. All right, let's cover some of these other ones here. He references the movie The Wolf of Wall Street by saying, "You can call me the Wolf of AEW because I'm not fucking leaving." And he dropped the F-bomb like there's nobody's business. I love MJF because he's like such a potty mouth too. Like he does not care. It's like him and The Rock. They're just too big to get bleeped out.
Yeah, exactly. And, people say, we want MJF in WWE. We hope he goes to WWE. If he went to WWE, you would not get this MJF. He's going to be completely watered down. All of this random cursing and F-bombs he's dropping, that's MJF. And you're just not going to get that anywhere else.
But that's also part of the character, which is like why it worked so well. But Kenny, he returns. He cuts his promo. He is back. He's motivated. He has his eyes on proving that he is the best in the world, kind of what he was and where he was before the Adam Cole stuff started. And it almost seems like they're kind of just either putting the Adam Cole stuff to the side until Cole is back or just scrapping it all together. I know that you personally, I believe you were not a fan of that whole thing and the way it played out at the end of the year, right? With Adam Cole and MJF.
Yeah, just because, for one, both of these guys are injured, and you reveal Adam Cole as the devil while he's sitting in a chair. That's not really intimidating. You got a guy here who's hurt, acting like he's like the mastermind behind this whole thing. The other guys around him were just too weak, except Roderick Strong at that point. I don't think anybody else made sense. It should have been Jack Perry. Tony Khan should have just swallowed that hurt pill of Jack Perry ruining CM Punk, and he should have just put him in that spot at that moment and let Jack Perry go to the moon from there. But I like where they got Jack Perry now, so maybe this is the better way it could have played out.
If Jack Perry had done that in December, we would not get the fire that we saw here tonight.
You're right.
Hey, you're right. Man. All right. Closing it out on the MJF stuff, like the other major news that we all kind of, or a lot of people kind of knew, but I think some people were not willing to accept. MJF revealed, official, forget the bidding war in 2024. I'm all elite. He said, I'm all in, double or nothing. And my man has an AEW poker chip tatted on his leg, which reads, and I quote, "Bet on yourself." He's back. FightfulSelect.com reported he's back on a multi-million-dollar per year deal. If there's anyone you want to give the piggy bank, but the Brinks truck to, it's this guy. Like, he is, for me, I think he's him and Moxley are two of AEW's most important stars. Like they need them in order to like not stay afloat. Like they're always going to stay afloat. They're about to get a massive rights increase, as Tony Khan alluded to in an interview today. But I think like these are your guys. If you're AEW, you're going to need them always.
I don't know. I would say MJF for sure, but over Moxley because I feel like he is kind of watered down now. I feel like he needs something. I don't know what it is, but he needs something. I think it's MJF and Kenny Omega. Unfortunately, Kenny Omega's out and hurt right now, but I think if he came back, he could definitely still be one of their top players if booked correctly.
For sure. The reason I say Moxley, though, is because, like, whenever AEW's gotten into any mess, right? Like all in,
get him out,
brawl out, Moxley's been the guy. And it's
right.
been like since day one, since their first show, he came out, paradigm shift, literally, in the world of wrestling. Like, that was when that momentum really shifted, and AEW was the hot new thing. And I think tonight, overall, like, I think one thing that this night set the tone for was this felt, I think, like, really, like, for real, for the first time since, I don't even know how long, this felt like, you know, almost like the old AEW. Right? Like it was like,
right.
It was like this was a can't miss event. This was the cool place to be, right? And I think, I don't know, maybe it's just us or me, I guess, like, you know, looking back with rose colored lenses, whatever the hell they say, at an event that just happened. But I don't know, I got like a very special feeling. Like I always like AEW shows, but this one felt like a little bit different than even the ones in the past few months.
Yeah, well, I know exactly what you mean, but even with these AEW shows, sometimes I'm not really hyped before I get to watch the show because the builds aren't always the strongest. But when you're in there watching these shows, it's just always something special. Like, especially during the main event, like, come on, man. It's just something that you can't get anywhere else but AEW. And, you know, I really enjoyed it. Coming off of it is like a high you got to kind of come down from. And, you know, you don't get that from every wrestling show.
Oh my God. Charles in the chat just said the Young Bucks are hosting this press conference right now.
Yikes.
Oh dear. We got Charles also saying the elbow drop on the mask had me laughing. He's talking about the Anarchy in the Arena, which we'll talk about in just a sec. Yeah. WWE isn't prepared enough for MJF IMO. Ooh, that's interesting. Elaborate on that a little bit, Charles. I'm interested to hear that. But Kenny, he's there, though. MJF is there, and he's there on a multi-year deal.
And tatted on his leg. It's a crazy man.
Man, that's crazy. Who's that guy in the chat? What's his name? John? I don't remember.
John Keegan? Oh, yeah.
John My Keegan, man's always like, MJF, bro. He's coming over,
MJF,
man.
WWE. No, sir.
Hey, man, give it a few years. But that was awesome. That was an amazing moment. And look, that's a thing that AEW can point to and be like, hey, tune in to Dynamite because we got MJF back.
Right.
Awesome.
Who you think he's back full time as of right now? Like, is he going to be on Dynamite for the next few weeks?
If I am Tony Khan and I am paying MJF the amount of money that is being reported, he is on Dynamite every single week. Like, I don't care.
So you think he's cleared 100%, ready to go?
Yes.
Wow. That's shocking to me, man. I didn't think that was not on my bingo cards to hear today.
That's look. I mean, a lot of people are saying that surgery angle was a bit of a work. So, although he did have surgery, I will say this: MJF did have surgery. If y'all noticed
recently,
yeah. Oh, well, look, I'm just saying. Shout out to Alicia Toot, his partner, who did a vlog in Turkey earlier this year.
It's McGee.
Yeah, yes. Yeah, as MJF would say. But she did a vlog in Turkey earlier this year. And if y'all notice, MJF's hairline, man, the real comeback, forget his return tonight. That hairline was the real comeback, my guy.
Yo, his hair looked bad tonight, though.
Oh, no.
What was it? Like, did he not gel it or something?
Well, no, he's got the, okay, look, as a fellow curly-haired, you know, man, right? Sometimes, you know, when it's humid outside, he's in Vegas, the desert, you know, like it's whatever. My man came out looking like Wolverine. It was crazy. He was in it though. He was in it. Just like Taco Kid is in the chat. He'd say, "What's good, Kenny? What's good, Omer?
What up, Taco Kid?
Good to see you."
He said, "What up, Big Om?"
Big Om. I love how you created that nickname for me.
My bad, man. It sticks sometimes. You know, if I call you it a few times, it's gonna stick, and I think that's your name now for me.
It's way better.
Do you have a problem with Big Om?
Way better than what people used to call me in middle school. Anyway, Trevor. I almost called you Trevor. My bad. I'm so used to doing OT Graps every Tuesdays at 7 p.m. Check that out.
Shout out to Trevor.
Shout out to Trevor. Kenny Bomb. Would you any last words on the MJF stuff? Like, I'll say this. Did this make this pay-per-view must-see / did fans get their money's worth because of this?
Absolutely. I would say so. I mean, I think the whole pay-per-view was great, but yeah, this is one of the things that kind of boosts the level up. And then they did it at the beginning of the show. You didn't have to wait for it. It kind of made you look forward to what was going to happen next. So I think so.
Cool. And okay, this is like more of I'm kind of curious because look, I don't watch Blood Money Mania, but I know that you guys did a watch along for it. Yeah, I said it. I don't care. But Kenny, was this the pay-per-view of the weekend?
It was definitely definitely a pay-per-view of the weekend. I do like the fact that the WWE show was more condensed. You know, you just had the 5 matches, but it was pretty much by the books. Not Alexa Bliss. What's the girl name? Liv Morgan beat Becky Lynch. It wasn't expected, but you know what? What does it mean? Nothing, because Liv Morgan probably shouldn't be the women's champion. So while they did have some shocking results, again, everything just by the books. Here, it was just a wild house. So I like this one a lot better.
Yeah, my taste in pro wrestling personally is like a little bit different, I think, than more conventional people. But I don't think I've had more fun watching a wrestling show than this show. Because, bro, this show was just crazy from beginning to end.
Yeah. Right. And watching it, I was like, man, we should have did a watch along for this one. Why we do it for the WWE show? Because WWE show was weak, and we were just like, yeah, good match. But this one would have been just going crazy.
Nah, Brian would have just been like,
oh, yeah, it was a good match. Yeah, it's a good match.
So, like, wait, what happened? I missed
WWE
that.
Boy.
Love you, Brian. Love you, Brian.
He's a WWE boy, man. Yeah, it is what it is.
It is what it is. We love you, though, bro. That's why I got to have him. See, the real thing is I got to have Brian on one-on-one to review an AEW show one day.
Oh, you don't want to do it.
I can't wait for it. It's going to be great.
Sometimes he just goes on an outburst and be like, this was terrible. This was bad. And you're like, bro.
Yo, why they bringing in Gangrel's old ass? It's like,
yo, it was an attitude. It was for the attitude.
That was crazy.
We loved it.
Hey, you know what? Let's talk about that because I really want to talk about this match. Trevor, I did it again. Kenny Bomb in the building. Kenny.
Shout out to Trevor again.
Go
you got me on the wrong side, man. Trevor's supposed to be on where you're at. I'm supposed to be where you're at, and you're supposed to be on this side.
Hey, man, maybe that's it. I'm just being thrown off. Kenny Bomb. All right, Kenny. So the steel cage match. This was actually, before I do that, I'm such an idiot. I got people in the chat. Taco Kid said MJF returning was really big boost for AEW. I'm happy that he's back. I think we all are. Charles saying, in my opinion, WWE is behind AEW in promo liberty, time allowed for wrestlers, and creative liberty input in storylines, unless you're the tribal chief, unless you're my tribal chief. I'm sorry. Gotta make sure that's clear. MJF needs all of this to express his character. There you go. Good stuff, guys. Let's talk about barbed wire, steel cage, Kenny. What the hell was that?
What? I don't know, bro. This was a crazy match, but I loved every second of it. So much good stuff happened in here. Like when the House of Black came out and they were standing next to Adam Copeland, and it looked like they were turning on Malachi Black. I was like, wait a minute. They're going to be the new Brood. Then I thought about the Judgment Day, and then they said, nope, don't even think about that because they turned on Adam Copeland and beat him down. That was one thing. For one, why did Edge, Adam Copeland, jump off the top of the cage, and instead of going full force into the elbow drop, he jumped straight on his feet, landed on his feet, and then hit the elbow?
All right. That spot was crazy. Like, my daddy was even like, oh, why did he do that? That looks like that looked like weird. And I was like, the wild thing is, I think that's more like that was way more dangerous than if he had just done like the straight up elbow.
Yes, that's what I'm thinking.
Because I'm like, bro, all the weight and all that force is coming down on your leg. Like his leg could have snapped like a twig. Like that right. Was crazy. You had that.
Have you seen the Sid Vicious injury?
God.
Could have been one of those, man. I'm glad it wasn't.
Vicious, yo. Shout out to Sid Vicious. That was, yo. Okay, look. You know when people say like, "Oh, AEW be doing too much. There's too much going on." Go watch that specific injury. They did a debut in the middle of that injury for the world. That was crazy. That was crazy. Oh man. Anyway, but we had that spot. He wrapped Malachi Black in barbed wire on the table, jumped off the steel cage, something I did not think a 50-year-old Adam Copeland would be doing tonight.
Or should
too. He's got kids. He's about to have grandkids. You never know. Like, we had that. We had Malachi Black doing black mass through the cage door edge to the Adam Copeland, to the outside. At which point, we got Buddy Murphy and Big Brody King coming out. And Kenny, they swerved. They did double swerve to us a little bit. They got me. They got us all. I mean, they stand by Malachi, and then immediately they all go to the side of Adam Copeland, and people in the MGM Grand Garden Arena lose their mind. This was one of the biggest pops of the night. Like, this was crazy. Yeah,
true.
And we were all thinking, like, Copeland came out to some bomb music, by the way. It was a great.
Yeah, he did.
It was a great theme, great presentation. Like, you know how you've always been talking like AEW needs to step up their presentation? I think tonight, the presentation was really good overall.
It was good. Yeah.
And other thing, looks like Adam Copeland owns the name of the Brood. So.
Yeah, I was surprised when they said that too. I was like, okay.
Yeah,
Brood. We're going Brood. They didn't get the music, but I mean, the music he did come out to was still real good. I just wish after the match they turned the lights red again and kept it going, but they just played his original music.
They had to give him. They had to give the fans Metalingus, and they were singing along with it, so that was a a good time.
Yeah. But Gangrel though, we gotta mention Gangrel came. He came through the. Oh, okay.
Bro, I thought you were about to move on. Stuff that happened in this match. So they do the little double turn. Matthews and Brody King are on the side of Copeland, and then they just start beating him up. Crowd goes out of their mind. Malachi Black is laughing. This was all planned from the beginning. They get him back in the ring. Malachi Black grabs something that I don't even know what to call it. It was like 3 poles wrapped together in barbed wire. I don't even know how to explain what this device was. Regardless, he goes to stab Adam Copeland. Instead, he puts a massive hole in the ring, which we'll come back later in just a second. And as Malachi Black is trying to put away Adam Copeland, he has Brody and Buddy hold him on each side. Copeland is wrapped in barbed wire. Black puts a barbed wire crown. Hey, look, Jesus was in the building. I don't know if you saw this on Twitter. There's a guy dressed up as Jesus in the front row. Jesus was in the building, and my man was suffering from a little bit of PTSD, I'm sure, as he saw Copeland with the barbed wire crown put on his head, and then the lights go red. Malachi's looking out, and we get, I'm going to let you do it, Kenny.
I don't know. Brood music just came to my head. We get Gangrel come from through the ring.
Yep, as was first predicted and spoiled. YouTube.com/Kiss the Ring YT. We said it. Gangrel would be coming, and he came. And then he also was at this event. I don't know if you know anything about Gangrel's cinema, his time in cinema, but.
Oh no, I don't. He had a
NPO. I'm gonna let you new something order. I'm gonna let you figure out what that P stands for.
It could be so many things. I mean, well,
Gangrel going crazy, bro, crazy.
Yo, Gangrel, I never knew that. He's always like around South Carolina and these like independent wrestling shows. I thought he was just an independent wrestler all this time.
Hey, bro,
I didn't know he was getting into the business.
Hey, man, to quote the Wu-Tang Clan, diversify your bonds. Anyway, so Gangrel comes out and crowd pops massively. Kenny Bomb somewhere is screaming because we love the Attitude Era.
Yes. I was like, this is
um,
all I need. Bring Christian out there. If he didn't have a match later on the night, I
yep.
would have thought he was coming out.
So Gangrel attacks Malachi Black, attacks Brody King, attacks Buddy Matthews. Everyone's laid out. There's carnage in the ring, and Malachi eventually is distracted enough where he takes out, I almost called him Raven, where he takes out Gangrel, and basically, anyway, but he takes out Gangrel and allows Adam Copeland to pick up the victory. What a match.
What do you think about that result? Should Adam Copeland have won this match?
This way, yes. This way, yes. Because look, it's easy for us to say like who should win what before we see what the end result is, and I think a lot of times, it's one of those things like we build it up in our heads to be a certain way to only make sense one way. But I think with this match, there were a few different things that could have made sense. I thought this was a very fun and enjoyable way to do this. And I think, Kenny, we got Gangrel. We got Adam Copeland on one side. There's one more spot there, and then you got 3 members of the House of Black. Could we see a Brood reunion with Christian Cage?
I see it. I would love it. Christian Cage just lost his match tonight, so that gets him out of the championship picture. Maybe he finds himself feeling lost, and Adam Copeland picks him up. I would love it. I say let's do it. And the only reason I asked you how you felt about the result of this match is because I wonder where they go from here. Are we still going to stick with Malachi Black and the House of Black against Edge, Adam Copeland, and then keep Gangrel in there along with maybe a Christian Cage? I hope so, but I don't know. I just hope they don't just move on to the next thing for Adam Copeland and just leave Malachi Black out in the cold.
We'll see. We'll see. I will say this. I thought this match was like, I didn't know like this match would like steal the show or anything, but I thought this match like, I came away like with this match being like, this might be the best match on this card. And
yeah, definitely one of the highlights.
That's for sure. Well, speaking of match of the night,
I mean, it could make the argument. I would say, yeah. It's definitely
actually,
that
how about
argument.
this? What do you think was the match of the night?
I think this one was. I was thinking about the Anarchy in the Arena. Now, that one was really good because there was just so much going on. But when this one had a lot going on too. But hey, Gangrel came back. So I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna say this one.
Yeah, we got the Attitude Era boys. Let's go with the Attitude Era.
Attitude Era boys up. Let's go.
When in doubt. Well, let's talk about a more professional wrestling match. As Tony has in the chat, is there a GoFundMe account for Gangrel to get some new front teeth?
Tony also said he looks like he's on meth. Like, yo, Tony,
you're going crazy in the chat. We got the flame retardant gel that Jack Perry had all over himself is known as Melter sauce. Oh, okay. Well, I don't know what that means, but all right.
Yo.
MJF is all elite for life. I mean, never say never. I think like it's he could go to WWE one day. I will say this. I think MJF is like how Seth Rollins is like very loyal to WWE. I'm not saying MJF is as loyal to AEW because I think he's going to do what MJF needs to do like at the end of the day. But I do think there's part of him that's like, I built this shit, like he feels like almost responsible for it. I think there's definitely a part of MJF, like he owns AEW a lot, and like it's literally on his leg now, like so. Yep. Crazy though. Let's talk about the international championship match though. WrestleVote said that the beginning of this show was going to be like can't miss. And a lot of people obviously were thinking about MJF, but like for me, I was like, oh, maybe he was talking about this match because this match went crazy. Kenny, hot crowd, insane heat for this match. Like before the Undisputed Era even done doing their entrance, Will Ospreay just comes in with a big hidden blade to the face of the international champion. Bell rings, they go at it. Ospreay's flying all over the place, taking out. It was like literally 1 against 3. He's doing spins over barricades, through tables, like, and then like he'll do like this superhero thing where he takes out 2 people and he'll look back at like at Roderick Strong. This was awesome.
Yeah, so I didn't see this match. I was at Walmart and I had it playing on my phone in the shopping cart, so I really didn't get to see what was going on. This is when I have to go back and watch. But yeah, I know Will Ospreay came out with the win.
Mm-hmm.
So Will Ospreay as an international champion is interesting because everybody was saying he's going to get the world AEW World Champion at All In. So I don't know. Do they put 2 straps on him or do they make him build this one up?
I think for right now you have Ospreay on this with this belt. Like and this is something I think you and I have spoken about before. AEW is like a slow burn company when it comes to like world titles, especially world titles, as Tony Hayes in the chat says. Kenny Bomb looks like Lil Wayne with less face tattoos.
Less. I don't have any. You mean with no face tattoos? But no, I don't look like Lil Wayne. He's looking rough these days.
Hey, bro, give it time. You know, a few WrestleMania bets, and you know, Kenny Bomb will. Maybe we'll get a big like WWE logo tattooed right here.
Messing with Brian, I'll end up with a Cody Rhodes logo right here.
Oh nah. What? Yo, nah. I could see Brian doing. I could see Brian like, I gotta do it for Cody. Shout out to Brian. Go subscribe to his YouTube channel, guys, at Just Brian YT. At Just Brian NY, right?
NY for YouTube, yeah.
NY, yeah, at Just Brian NY. My bad. Anyway, so with Ospreay, right? Like AEW's always been a bit of a slow burn company with the world champions. They don't rush those storylines, even though sometimes I think you could. I think this is for the best. You stay the course with Swerve. I have faith that they are holding out for Hangman Adam Page to return. And if Hangman returns, let's say within the next month, I think it's worth having Swerve remain the world champion. And he's like doing a great job, by the way, as the world champion, in my view. Like his matches are killer. But
yeah,
if that's what you're building up to, or if it's like something bigger that maybe we can't see right now, I'm fine with it. I'm willing to give it time, basically, just because AEW usually does not like, you know, burn out or you know, mess up these world championship reigns. Sometimes it's out of their control at CM Punk, but you know, like outside of that, everything has usually gone to plan, and it's been, you know, a satisfying run. Now, I think there's a chance here for Will Ospreay to elevate, pardon the pun, the AEW International Championship here. And,
yeah, for sure.
And I think, like, look, he'd be going into Wembley potentially with a championship. And I know people like have built up the image of him, you know, as the world champion, winning it at the end of Wembley, which would be amazing. Like, I would love if that happened. I'd be cheering it. But I think it's like that thing I was mentioning earlier. There's multiple ways to do something that could work out. I'm just willing to give, I think, AEW a little bit more time to see where this goes.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not totally out of it on Swerve right now. I don't know. I think he needs a pretty big feud though. Christian was cool, but I mean, do they have another big guy they can put in there with him to make him and keep him hot, going past All In or past Forbidden Door, the next pay-per-view? Like, what do you do? Who from New Japan do you put in there with Swerve? And you know, I could talk about Forbidden Door all day, but who do you put in there? Who do you put Swerve in there with at Forbidden Door?
Tanahashi. I think you have to.
But see, exactly. I just don't think that would do him any favors this early in his title run because I don't know who Tanahashi is. I don't watch New Japan. So it's just going to be like just a pay-per-view in the middle of the road.
Look, that's what Forbidden Door is for you casuals. It's okay. It's okay. I'm still going to.
We just got to stop watching.
A little bit. Anyway, we'll have we should have like a Forbidden Door like full on debate. We'll have that. We'll save that for Kiss the Ring. YouTube.com/Kiss the Ring YT. But yeah, I mean, I see what you mean. I think that for me, the guy to have that big feud is Hangman. Like I've said it before, I'll say it again. If there was ever a time to hot potato that belt back and forth, it's Swerve to Hangman to Swerve within like a matter of like a few weeks, because that feud deserves it. That being said, I think the other guy that I could see him having a big match with is Bryan Danielson. And
Yeah.
and hear me
Brian
out here.
Danielson got that win over him.
Bryan does have a win over him as it stands. This is looking ahead a little bit in fantasy booking, but you got Wrestle Dream in Swerve's hometown of Tacoma, Washington, which is just a little bit away from Bryan Danielson's hometown in Aberdeen, Washington, which they're setting that up. It's a big show, historic arena in the Tacoma Dome, and they're building it up as Bryan's potentially last full-time match, right?
Mm-hmm.
What better way for Bryan to go out than for a world title against another hometown hero? Like, that crowd will be electric. You know they can deliver. They had a great match on Dynamite during the Continental Classic, and I don't know. I'm just talking.
And that show's in October, right?
It's in October 11th, I believe.
You could definitely do that. I think Hangman is the guy for All In, though. I think you want to build up Hangman for that'll be Swerve's biggest match at All In.
Oh, Swerve and Hangman at All In. Give me an Iron Man match for that one. That'd be crazy.
Oh, give it to me. Come on. No disqualification.
No DQs, no countouts, no
Let him go
rope breaks,
crazy.
none of that.
Nothing.
Yeah, let's just do another Texas Death match. Texas Death Iron Man. Let's
Yeah,
do it.
let's
Make it
do
happen,
it.
Tony Khan. Oh, we
Three
got
stages of hell. Let's do it.
we got Tony Hayes trying to get a rise out of you, saying Hangman sucks. He ain't no real cowboy.
Yo. Come on, bro. Yeah, he's just a good heel. That's why people hate him.
Adam Page is a former school teacher from Virginia. Hey, school teachers can be cowboys too.
True.
We got Tony saying Swerve can't be top dog in AEW if Mox has the other belt. It doesn't make sense. That you're talking about the IWGP belt. I would say
I don't care about that other belt.
that's like the thing. I mean, like Kenny is proof of this. Like, there's a lot of people who just like don't watch New Japan and don't know anything about it. For me, I will say, I think AEW has positioned the AEW World Title still to be way more important than the New Japan title on TV. So, like that for me, that's the barometer, and I think it's fine. I look. I think one thing we know about Swerve is like when he's there and he's able to tell a story through the in-ring match, it's gonna slap just like it did tonight.
Yeah.
And let's talk about that match. So we had Swerve Strickland, Christian Cage, a lot of shenanigans with the members of the patriarchy, and Nana himself, who got ejected first for trying to interfere in this match. Kenny, he was pulling the Nigerian prince scam on on the match tonight.
There was a lot going on in this match. It just seemed like there was one section of it where the ref was completely focused on everybody outside of the ring and not what was going on in the ring.
There was a lot, especially I would say like this. The way it was like the first half of the match was like a lot of that, and then the second half was like, all right, it's these two one-on-one. Let's go. And everyone gets kicked out. By the way, Mother Wayne is like, I didn't realize this. Mother Wayne is like literally almost as tall as Luchasaurus.
Oh, yeah.
That's crazy, bro.
But she puts big heels on to make it worse.
I'm about to say, Nick Wayne, like, bro, where my man, like, did not get his mom's jeans. Like, you got those Buddy Wayne jeans. Shout out to Buddy Wayne. Shout out to Nick Wayne. Anyway, everyone gets kicked out because, you know, there's a lot of shenanigans going on. We get Swerve and Christian Cage one-on-one. There's this spot where Swerve is going for a tope to the outside to try to push Christian into some stairs that were set up on the outside. Christian dodges it, and Swerve goes head first, it looked like, into some stairs. I remember you texted me about that spot.
Yeah, I didn't know if it was a botch or what, but I don't know if it was... I don't remember if I saw his legs clip the rope or something, but it seemed like he didn't shoot as far as he wanted to, and I thought his face hit like the crease of the chair, like the corner of the stairs, and I was like, oh, that's going to be bad, but I mean, he was fine, so I guess he either blocked it, and the commentary actually mentioned it too. They're like, looked like he hit his head on whatever, like the corner of those stairs, but I guess not, because he got up, there was no blood, and he was fine, so that was a scary spot.
He got up, there was no blood, and we got... Instead, Swerve saying, oh, okay, you want to do that. So he takes Christian Cage to the Spanish announce table, as is tradition, and he does the swerve stomp on him in the most painful ass way, and the table does not give. That looked like it hurt. That was like one of the most painful spots of the night outside of anything that happened in Anarchy in the arena.
Yeah, but it looked great. I think it would have looked even better if the table did collapse, but I was like, I know that probably didn't feel good, but it was a great visual.
It's almost like, in a way, like kind of better the table doesn't collapse, like, because like it's weird, like those AEW tables, the way they look are like different, because like we're all kind of used to the fumbly bumbly AEW or WWE tables where it's like, oh my god, there's two mammoths on the table. Oh, it broke anyway. Like
yeah.
Like about Triple H and Kurt Angle when they were doing that spot and the table just broke.
As soon as he like pushed down to like lift up, it collapsed.
Yep. Like those AEW tables, like Excalibur's really good at this, because he'll always explain. It's like, and there's a steel beam in the middle of the table. Like my man was like, he's like, it's a support beam to make sure the table doesn't break. And Christian Cage, by God, he was crazy. So we get Swerve doing that spot. And we get a really cool spot of this gator roll to the outside. I know you mentioned this.
Oh, yeah, I like that.
Swerve gator rolling Christian to the outside so he could beat him down. We also get like a really nice spot of Christian like trying to beat Swerve to the apron, and Swerve, quick as a cat, like jumps up to the apron, does a stare down with Christian, sadistic smile on his face, drives him into the that apron area. Finish of the match. Swerve just goes, he was saving up all his finishers throughout the entire match, and he just goes video game on him. Running kick. We got the Swerve stomp off the top, another running kick, and it was all over. From there, Swerve retains the AEW World Championship. What do you think of the finish?
I loved it, but there's one part you missed out when Prince Nana came back waving a pipe. And who was it, Nick Wayne he chased to the back?
My dad, though, I was watching with my dad. My dad was like, that's like, that was his favorite spot of the night. He was just like, he's like, Nana, let's go.
Yeah, it was funny. Yeah, I love the match overall. A lot of shenanigans going on at the beginning, but I think they got to the point, and they had a good match. But again, Christian taking a fairly clean loss, so I don't know where he goes from here, because he just came off of another loss.
That is true. Well, let's get into the second one of our three main events. Let's talk about Mercedes Moné versus TBS champion Willow Nightingale, who is accompanied to the ring by Chris Statlander and a very interesting Stokely Hathaway. I thought that overall, like we were all wondering, right, what is Mercedes going to look like? What is it going to feel like? You could tell that she was really excited when she came out, like big smiles, and like this is her first match in over a year. Of course, she's gonna be that. Here's what I will say though. I thought beginning of this match was like a little bit slower. I thought they maybe they were trying to build it up. When it got going though, like that, like it's kind of like the second half of this match was just go. Like they beat the crap out of each other. There were slaps to the face. Of course, there was a bit of a miscommunication, quote unquote, between Statlander, Stokely, and Willow that ended up biting Willow in the bum, of course, with that giving Mercedes an advantage. What did you think of this match?
Pretty much by the numbers. I didn't like the result of this match, so it kind of took everything away from it. I was hoping they somehow got Willow out of there with the championship, because now you just took the championship off of Julia to put it on Willow, to put it on Mercedes. I don't like them passing it around like that. I understand Julia was injured, so you had to take it off of her, but I think Willow was actually more impressive during this whole feud than Mercedes was. So I think you could have kept the belt on Willow somehow through some shenanigans or whatever if you didn't want to pin Mercedes, and you could have pushed the feud forward and let Mercedes take it off in the next match. But it looks like they are spinning something off here for Willow at least. So as long as they don't take her off TV like they always do when these people lose the championships, I think she'll be fine. So, you know what? I wouldn't say anything groundbreaking, but I mean, it was a fine match. I wouldn't say it was offensive at all.
I thought the second part of this match was spectacular. There's there's like different gears that a match can get into. I thought like the second part of this match, they got into that like this is like we're going out here and having a fantastic fucking wrestling match gear, and I think that's what they did. As far as the result, I mean, this was, I guess, the more predictable result. I know I had laid out to you, like, or to like basically everyone who would listen, like the way I wanted things to go. That being said, I kind of get what they're doing here. Like, they want to uplift that TBS championship even more than they have, putting it on Mercedes Moné. Regardless of how fans have reacted to her, she has a massive following. She is going to get eyeballs on the product, and like that's the end goal. And I think like that's what they did here. She also proved tonight, I think, that a lot of people were, oh, can she still go? Can she still wrestle? Damn right she can still wrestle. Damn right she can
still go.
Yeah. I think that much is definitely clear. It is, but I also think like I like this because AEW also, like, one of the things I've been complaining for years about this company is they have not been able to have focus on women's storylines outside of the title pictures.
Yeah.
And this is one of the few times now that I think they can do it and tell a really special story. Because Chris and Willow have chemistry, like a lot of chemistry, both on-screen personas and I think in the ring. Like when Chris Statlander turned on Willow, which was what happened tonight, they were walking down the ramp. Stokely was yelling at Willow. Stat like pushed Stokely away. And as they're walking up the ramp, Chris Statlander, almost like Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens back in the day in NXT, she just takes Willow, drops her head, back of the head, right onto the ramp and beats her down, takes the friendship bracelet, throws it in her face. The friendship is broken up, and we got a women's wrestling storyline, and like one with some real, I think, bite to it that people want to see. Like, people want to see this match. So I think like, if
Chris Statlander.
Go ahead.
Sorry.
No, my bad.
I was gonna say Chris Statlander. She seemed like she needed something. I don't know what it was because she was always good in the ring. Like, she'd have good matches, but for her character, the alien thing first wasn't really working. It was fine, but it was kind of in that best friends territory. And her just being a bubbly babyface afterwards, I think her having a heel run, we'll see how it goes. But I think this is a fresh start for her, so we'll see how she pulls this off. But I'm excited to see what she actually does next, where I haven't ever been before.
Yeah, and I think like, I'm telling you, man, there's some special stuff they could do with this, because especially with Stokely. Like, Stokely's gonna make this entertaining as hell, and then those two in the ring are just gonna it's gonna be chef's kiss. I'm telling you.
Yeah, and where do you push Mercedes off to now? Because if these girls are gonna go feud with each other, that leaves Mercedes by herself. So who's the next contender? Not DMD, right?
They gotta do it. Come on.
So you think she comes out like, I'm the best, I won this championship, and I knew I was going to win this championship, and nobody can take it from me. And then DMD comes out, I've never been the TBS champion, and I won it. Is that where we go from here?
All right, stay with me here. Wednesday night, Mercedes Moné gets some time on Dynamite. She's going to address her fans, cut this promo. She's going to talk about how she came here to win gold, and that's what she's done. She's going to go through, check all the boxes on the Mercedes promo, She's the CEO, all that stuff. And then we're going to get her saying that right now there's 3 letters to describe, like, the best that AEW has to offer, and that is TB.
The doctor will see you now.
That is CE. The doctor will see you now. Bring out Britt Baker. Yo, I'm telling you, like, bro, go Vince Russo on you. I'll block me on Twitter, bro. Let me tell you something, bro.
Come on, bro.
It's gonna be crazy. Big dog in the chat. Hell yeah. CEO versus DMD. That's gonna be a hot crowd in Los Angeles on Wednesday.
All-in match, though.
What?
It's an all-in match.
It's a what?
That's an all-in match. If all-in is your WrestleMania, you got to save that match for all-in.
Nah. You see. Look, they got Fyter Fest. They got what's the other one called? Not Revenge of the Fallen. That's a Transformers
Pride
movie.
and Prejudice is on TV now, right?
Yeah. Well, I'm saying they have a lot of time to film between like now and All In for the canon AEW.
Yeah, you're right.
Outside of Forbidden Door, like All In isn't until the last week of August. They have like 3 months to fill right now. So, and look, you want to get eyeballs on the weekly TV show, right? That's what you got to do. Like, that's what they did back in the day. Remember, Kenny Omega didn't win the AEW World Championship on a pay-per-view. He won it, and Winter is Coming. So.
Oh, yeah, that was a great show, though. That was a classic. Probably one of the best TV Dynamites ever. Sting came out, too.
Yo, that was crazy. It was on that It was a historic show.
Man, that was crazy.
Bro, you have to be at All In.
But you're going to All In, right?
Oh, I'm going All In.
Not All In. Forbidden Door. You going to Forbidden Door?
I will be at Forbidden Door. Yep.
Where is Forbidden Door?
Same place. What's it called? World's End was. Long Island.
Is it on a Saturday or Sunday?
I think this is on a Sunday. Yeah, because I have to take off work the next day, so it's on a Sunday.
All right, I was about to say, you know what? I'll come out there with you, but Sunday shows can't do it.
It's okay. It's okay. I need to see what I need you to do. I need you to come out to Wrestle Dream so you can film me crying when.
Doing Wrestle Dream, we out there.
Yeah. I need someone to film me crying when Brian when Brian retires, because like I'm gonna be like, no, genuinely, I'm gonna be a fucking mess on that show. Like, you're gonna see like a whole different side of me. Like,
you think he'll do the whole kiss and bow out thing, or?
I think so. And like, there's no better place I think to do it. Man, Kenny, like, we're gonna bond emotionally on that trip, or I'm gonna bond emotionally on that trip. This is gonna be crazy. By the way, guys, remember to hit that like button, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Go over to youtube.com/KissTheRingYT for awesome wrestling content from 3 of the best up-and-coming content creators in all of the IWC. I think I said that right. Yeah, whatever. Go subscribe. All right, let's do some rapid fire because there were like 10 matches on the show, some of them more important than others. I need you to give me one sentence on each of these matches. Bang Bang Gang defeating the Death Triangle to retain the AEW Trios Championships.
This is one I told you I missed. This is when I recorded my video on MJF.
All right, well, the juice is loose. That's all I got to say. We got Juice Robinson back. That was one of the loudest pops of the night. One of the loudest pops of the night was Juice Robinson.
People love him.
People love it. Look, say what you want. Him and Jay White are a great combo. Like, in the ring and on the mic, they play very well off each other. I think we need to get rid of the ass boys in the Bang Bang Gang. Let's do that. Let's get rid of the ass boys and give me more juice.
Let them up.
More juice. Speaking of, let me stop. We're not gonna talk. I'm not gonna make that Brian Cage joke. Timeless Tony Storm defeating Serena Deeb for the AEW Women's World Championship in 15 minutes.
I love Tony Storm. Her matches are always some of my favorites on the pay-per-view. Wasn't invested in this one because I don't care about Serena Deeb, but Tony Storm looked great in there as usual. Very beautiful woman. Shout out to Juice.
Damn it, Luther. Don't throw the towel.
Didn't throw the towel. She took it.
Poor Luther. That man got caught red.
Well, right. Trying to throw it in.
Oh, man. That's crazy. Tony A saying, glad Juice is back. I think, good to see him back. You know, like those back injuries can be very serious, so I'm glad to see him back. Jericho versus Shibata and Hook.
Cancel Christmas. Jericho won, right?
Yep. With the help of the bounty hunter, Brian Keith.
That's cool, though. That was a cool spot. There was like, he brought the bag out with the, people thought it was thumbtacks. I was like, that's not thumbtacks. He's playing
the dice.
Then he threw out the dice, and I was like, that might be even worse.
The corners on those things hurt.
Exactly.
Orange Cassidy rolling up Trent Beretta for the win, 13:55.
I think this is one I missed as well. But I saw Trent Beretta. I guess he lost, and he looked like kind of like sadistic, and he was walking out, and he said like, "I'm done." So is he trying to hint at retirement?
Walked out of the crowd, gone from AEW? Question mark. We'll find out on
To
Wednesday.
WWE.
We'll find out on Wednesday because Don Callis says he has a contract to offer someone on Wednesday night. Is it Orange Cassidy? Is it Trent Beretta? We'll find out.
Trent Beretta's another guy who I think is good, but he needs something. I think when he cut his hair, he lost a lot. I understand he was losing it, but bro, go to Turkey, get it cleaned up.
I think they're doing. I think what they're doing now with Trent is very interesting. Like, because look, who was talking about Trent Beretta 6 months ago outside of like me and like 6 other people on the internet? You know, no one. No one else was watching Rampage or anything like that. What?
I love Sue.
We all love Sue. Shout out to Sue.
When she comes,
Shout out, yo! I can't wait for Sue to come back, slap the shit out of Trent Beretta, and be like, "What are you?
Yeah.
Apologize to your friends." Like that's.
Remember that time when we did the parking lot match and she just stuck her middle finger up and she was leaving out the window?
That was amazing.
Sue will go forever after that moment.
Shout out to Sue, man. Shout out to Sue. The only white fan I would get in. All right. Last rapid fire one, and then we get to the main event. Let's talk about Moxley and Konosuke Takeshita IWGP Eliminator match. Jon Moxley beat Takeshita in this.
I expected him to win though, just because he has the the IWGP Championship.
Mm-hmm.
I expected him to win. I mean, you don't want to beat the champion from New Japan. No, you just lost your champion to a regular AEW guy. It kind of makes him look weak. So, I mean, as expected, I love Konosuke Takeshita. I just hope they figure it out with him because apparently he's not happy the way he's booked, and he's saying it's pretty much like the language thing that's hurting him. He's a GOAT though, man.
He's really good. He's so good.
So good.
We love Take. It's going to be interesting to see where they go from here because Don Callis' family tonight, you know, outside of Will Ospreay, like, it was not that successful. So, gonna be interesting. I will say this. I'm a huge fan of Don Callis on commentary. Like, don't get me wrong, look, Tony Schiavone's great. But I think it's like we gotta make a bit of a switch here. You know, we gotta like give me more Callis on commentary, less Tony Schiavone. Like for me, the dream team for commentary is like Excalibur, Nigel McGuinness, and Don Callis. I think those three together are chef's kiss.
Yeah, but I got a question for you about Don Callis.
Go for it.
Now, they hit him with a chair or something one day, and he got a scar on his head.
That wasn't a chair.
And that scar is just crazy right now. Are they like gimmicking it up so
No.
they can stand out, or is it really bad?
Bro. So this was last year going into Anarchy in the Arena. Moxley like pushed him a little bit in the backstage segment, and he tripped, gashed his head open on like it was like one of those like I think it was so okay. So like they have like those lights on the ground, right? Like that kind of like shine and make the background look cool. It's like a wall washer, but like it's got like this metal grate on it. Bam! He fell smack right on that metal grate, and you can see it. Bro was like literally bleeding out like a river of blood coming out of his
I remember
thing. Like
and he had the scar ever since. I don't remember what happened to him, but yeah, that makes sense. But he had the scar ever since, and I was like, wait a minute, are they gimmicking this thing up? Because it just looks like he got it yesterday every time I see him.
I mean, bro, he's got a shiny ass head too. Like that does not help. He's got a very shiny. He's got
it helps for his character. It's crazy for real life.
He's got that oil on, like you be rubbing oil on it. He's like, look at what Moxley did to me. That was a dope line though. He's like, John, I think about you every day because every morning I look in the mirror and I see Jon Moxley. I was like, oh, that's crazy. Oh man. All right. Let's talk about this shit show. Anarchy in the Arena, the main event of this show. Where do we even start with this? So we got the Young Bucks and company coming out. Oh, Kenny Bomb is frozen.
Can you still hear me though?
Oh, we can still hear you. We good.
Oh yeah, I hit my camera.
We good.
Sorry about that.
No, you good. Anyway, so Anarchy in the arena. Justin Roberts promised this match would be an absolute it show, and it absolutely was. We got the opening where the Jackson brothers come out, the Young Bucks come out, the Rainmaker Kazuchika Okada comes out. We get the Scapegoats music playing. And right as Jack Perry makes his way down, immediately the other faces just come in and beat the crap out of the heels. It was insane. Like, they were throwing each other over barricades. And then Matt Jackson takes the mic and he says, "Hey, play my music." And they play like the Elite's like Succession ripoff song. Where, ding, dun, 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 dun.
It's a great theme, though.
It's a good theme. Look. As Matt Jackson said, it was like, look, the best theme in AEW today. And which causes, like, a minute later, Bryan Danielson to grab the mic and say, "Stop! Turn that shit off! Play the best song in all of professional wrestling history." And you know what, bro? They did exactly that. They played the final countdown. And I think I texted this to you. I immediately regretted not going to this pay-per-view just because of this spot. Yep. Because anyone who knows
when I heard it, I was like, "Oh boy, Omer's crying over there."
Bro, I wasn't crying. I was raging. I was like, "Oh, damn it! I should have went to Vegas." But it was crazy. Final countdown was playing. Everyone's beating the crap out of each other. The angles that AEW was shooting in the crowd were dope. Like, it was a very different angles that you don't get usually on AEW TV. Crowd's going wild. Eventually, Matt Jackson grabs the mic back once again and says, "Hey, turn that off. Do you know how much that costs to play? $200,000. We're on a budget here." And I was like, that's hilarious. Like, honestly.
Yeah, the commentary team kind of popped at it too. They was like, "Well, he's not lying."
He ain't lying.
But I wonder when he started worrying about the budget.
I mean, that song is actually, like, insanely expensive to license. Like Tony at one point was asked about it, and he said, "Oh yeah, it costs, like, for like 2 plays about as much as like a lower level AEW contract." And that's crazy.
Was it always like that, or did he not have? You pay for the rights when he had his like when he was like during the previous run when he was using it on the Indies.
Oh, when Brian had it?
Yeah. Oh, because he was using it on the Indies, right?
Yeah, no, they were just like that was just indie-rific, like, carny shit. Like, they were just playing it. They did not. Oh, okay. They were not about to license that song for $200,000. That's crazy. Where's ROH getting this money from? They can't even get good mics. like you think, like, they were filming those shows on camcorders in 2004, bro. Ain't no way they affording that. Oh, that'd be crazy. It's like, look, all the budget went to the song. All right, we can't pay anyone.
Well, did they have like a TV deal or something, or was it just because it wasn't on TV they could use it?
It's because, like, it was like on burnt DVDs. Like, this is like right after WCW went out of business. It's like indie-rific stuff. Like, they just, like, got away with it. Mm-hmm. Anyway, you will not hear that played, I promise you, on the when AEW goes to the Max. You will not hear that song played, I promise you, on the ROH stuff anyway. All right.
Why is that?
Because Tony Khan is not paying the
you mean the ROH, like their Ring of Honor content. I thought you meant like on pay-per-views and stuff.
Oh no, you'll hear that. You'll definitely hear that, because he buys that stuff in perpetuity when he does license it, which is why it's usually so expensive. Because, like, there's different ways to license
perpetuity, like where he can use it again, or
I think it's, like, depends, right? So, like, the way this usually works, and this is why you'll see in WWE some of the licensing is a bit murky. Back in the day when WWE used to license music, what they would do is, and this is why you don't hear, like, a lot of the Undertaker's old themes played. This is why you don't hear, the Sandman's Enter Sandman on the ECW tapes. Is because WWE usually only license, or back in the day, they would only license stuff for, like, one-time use and to play on the pay-per-view, but they wouldn't license it for the library. So after the fact, they would have to dub it over with some shit. Some Jim Johnston, like, whatever. But AEW, like, Tony Khan's like, yeah, no, like, look, if we're doing it, we're gonna do it, like, and it's just gonna live on forever in the library. Which is always more expensive.
Ooh, boy, I don't know. Which way is the smart way though? Because I don't know. I think I would just get it for the one show and whatever. We'll deal with it later. Because
Well,
I
no,
mean,
if
if
you
you're
deal with it
paying
later,
$200,000 to license a song, that's
twice
insane.
for two plays. It's crazy.
2 plays.
That's why Brian was able to play it at Forbidden Door and All Out last year, because they had 2 plays.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, so after the Battle of the Bands, then we get to the absolute carnage that would ensue. And Kenny, I'm gonna be so real with you. At a certain point, I started like deliberately spamming our group chat with messages because I could not keep track of what was going on. So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna straight up just read out these text messages to you, and I just want you to react. A thumbtack mask? ? Darby is wild. Crying face emoji.
Yes, Darby is wild. Like they said on commentary, the man got hit with a bus. So he came out with his thumbtack mask on. And unfortunately, that's not the craziest we got with Darby. So let's go ahead and continue.
That was definitely not the craziest we got with Darby. We move on. It says, WTF. Now I'm mad. Okay, now this is the final countdown thing. Okay. So we get Darby Allin and Jack Perry fighting to the back. Everyone's fighting around the arena, but these two fight to the back. And here I am thinking, okay, well, maybe they're just going to do like a little bit of a little bit of like backstage carnage, whatever. Darby at one point tries to drown Jack Perry, which was insane in itself. But then my guy, we get there we go. Now you look beautiful.
And I'm still working on that camera.
No, you good. We got you fixed now. We got an image there. So they're fighting in the parking lot, and at a certain point, after Jack Perry nearly gets drowned by Darby Allin, Jack Perry then gets the upper hand and lays Darby out like on this like bed of I don't even know what. Like there's like crates and stuff, and he's laid out. We then cut to the action in the ring. The Young Bucks are beating down FTR, get some good action back and forth. And then out of nowhere, we suddenly just out of nowhere cut back to the parking lot where Jack Perry drives a bus and kills Darby Allin. And that's
literally kills him.
Yo, the way they're booking Jack Perry right now, yo. I'm going to say it.
I love it.
It's that fight with CM Punk's the greatest thing that ever happened to Jack Perry because he's on the run of his career.
He's on another level right now.
And like the commentators are like flabbergasted. Even Nick Jackson is in the ring like,
he just killed him.
Oh, damn. It's like that. Like, that's crazy. But miraculously enough, Zombie Allen emerges from this car wreck and makes his way down to the ring, limping like a maniac, and tries to beat down the Young Bucks.
He tried, but we see where he ended up.
Yep. So the Young Bucks then try to kill Darby Allin again by dropping him through their elevator where they do their entrance. To which I said, how many times can they kill this man on the show?
I'm sorry, Omer. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh, okay. Sorry about that. I'm working on this camera thing. I thought my audio went out. But yes, he tried to get in there and fight the Young Bucks, and it didn't go too well for him.
Nope. And then I texted you, Kenny, how the hell are we going to cover this show? Then, all right, we get everyone kind of circling around the entrance ramp. People are being thrown through the poker chips. Brian takes a bump through the table. Okada drives Cash Wheeler through the table. And we get a backstage shot of Jack Perry, who was also hurt in this car wreck. He drove that bus, into Darby Allin with no seatbelt. And somehow he emerged as the most injured person. So he comes backstage.
So Jack Perry.
Yep.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Nope, go ahead.
Okay. So Jack Perry's coming out, and we cut to backstage, and He just sees Tony Khan and he goes for it. He grabs this poor man out of his seat while he's producing this amazing pay-per-view. And he is about to and he's coming out of nowhere. He doesn't even know what's about to happen. He's just dragging Tony Khan to the entrance ramp. Before he can make it to the entrance ramp, though, Darby Allin comes out with a flamethrower. And
a very moist Jack Perry. I don't know what was going on, but this guy was very wet when he got out. It was because Darby tried to drown him or what? Because he was still very, very moist.
He threw him in that bucket of ice and tried to drown him.
Yeah. So I guess that was I think they probably sprayed some anti-flame stuff on him. And it was we got to figure out a way to get him wet first because he's going to be wet the next time they see him.
Question mark.
Whoa.
But hey, that man was wet. I will say he was also hot because he was wet and hot. Hot and wet. Damn right I
wet
said
man.
It. Oh. So Darby Allin takes the flamethrower and he's he's making sure he's fighting everyone off. He's scaring everyone off with this flamethrower. And poor Jack Perry, who's dragging Tony Khan, by the way, is coming through the entrance ramp and he doesn't see Darby Allin with his flamethrower. And before he can even know what's going on, Darby just shoots this man with fire and sets Jack Perry on fire.
Did you hear what you just said about this wrestling show?
This wrestling show was fire.
He shot this man with fire.
Yep.
A flamethrower on a wrestling show. You set a man on fire, which is insane.
To which Brian in the chat actually said, who I don't think he was watching the show. He was just WTF is going on?
Yeah. He's having a go away party. So he was probably just looking at our messages what are these guys talking about? Somebody getting shot with a flamethrower?
Yep. And then Caro actually texted and was like, I missed. What happened? I just say, Darby set Jack Perry on fire with a flamethrower. Are they really trying to end this man's life tonight? And we weren't done there.
They didn't turn the flamethrower on Darby because normally he's the one who takes those crazy spots. But Jack Perry was down for it, man. Shouts out to him.
Hey, man, real glass, real fire. It be like that.
Real glass, real fire. We're doing it.
All right. So we somehow, I don't know how, Darby Allin makes his way to the ring again because he is literally a fucking zombie. And the Young Bucks call for this. I don't even know. It's this wire to be lower down and with a hook, and it's that thing that they use for in ladder matches to hold up the championships or the briefcase. And in this instant, Kenny, they're just using it to wrap Darby. And at first, I thought they were gonna hang this man. I was like, "Yo, all right, come on now."
Oh yeah, my mind went to the Undertaker and Big Boss Man when they hung him. I was like, "Wait a minute, what are we gonna do here?"
Yeah, it
was just a small hook. I knew they couldn't hang him like that, but
Darby would
have
found a way. Instead of hanging him from his neck, they instead did him the liberty of hanging him upside down, which I don't know which one is worse. Because that man was upside down for a solid 10 minutes to end this match, which cannot be healthy.
That's what I was thinking before. They just kept going on with the match. This man's just hanging upside down for 10 minutes, blood rushing to his head. I'm like, okay, are we going to get him down before the finish? But then they kind of went into it. But, I mean, he was still upside down for a long time.
Yeah, it got to the point where the fans were chanting, "Please help Darby," very loudly in the arena. And in between, we get some insane spots. At one point, Darby Allin, by the way, had a mask because he had a broken nose, right? He had a mask with thumbtacks on it because if he was going to headbutt people, he wanted them to feel pain.
Right. Of course.
We get a spot with a steel chair where Matt Jackson takes a steel chair. I think he hits Brian over the head with it. It explodes. There's pyro goes off. I don't know how they rigged the steel chair with pyro, but they did.
It was crazy. I didn't see anything on it. Maybe it was just too fast and I didn't expect it, so I wasn't looking, but that was a crazy thing. He just hit him with the chair. Boom. I was thinking we were going to see that when he brought the shoes out. I don't mean to spoil the shoes, but yeah.
I mean, well, they did that last year. They did the fireworks spot with the shoe, which was worse because Moxley took that right to the face. I don't know how that man didn't get
In the
burnt.
face. Yeah.
We did get a shoe spot, as you alluded to. We got the new Reebok, the Young Bucks Reeboks Jones with thumbtacks on them. They super kick Darby, who's hanging upside down like a vampire. And maybe that's it. Maybe Darby's going to join the Brood here, and he's going to be a vampire, because that's the only thing that explains how the hell he's still alive after this match. Oh, man. All right. So,
man, he got beat up bad in this one. He always gets beat up bad, but this time they ran him over. I'm surprised they didn't set him on fire. But, I mean, he got hung upside down and super kicked crazy with some thumbtacks.
He got hit by a bus for a shoot a month ago. How is he still alive?
How did he get hit by a bus? Like, what are you doing, Darby?
It was in New York. He probably was not looking both ways before crossing the street. That can happen.
I don't know. I'm not convinced. I think he jumped in front of it.
My man's like,
survive this.
My man's looking for heat. Huh? Oh, this will get him. That's crazy. Someone help that man.
You got a broken foot and you get hit by a bus. Like, what are you doing, man?
Yo, Darby's crazy, man. Shout out to Darby, bro. Like, give that man some more vacation, Tony Khan. All right. Finish of the match.
Big apologies to you and the chat, Omer. I think I'm gonna have to turn my computer off when we finish because I cannot get this camera to resync.
All good. We don't got much else to talk about. We just got to finish up this match, I think. So we get the end of this match where Bryan is reaching out to Darby. He's trying to help Darby. And just as he's about to help him, we get Jack Perry hitting a running knee to Bryan Danielson. And Jack Perry picks up the victory, pinning the American Dragon Bryan Danielson in Anarchy in the arena. Interesting here. What did you think?
You know what, Omer? I loved it. I love the fact that Jack Perry was in all of that trouble and we didn't know where he was going to end up. Now he's on this show in a match with Bryan Danielson. You got the Young Bucks in there. You got Darby Allin, but he's the guy getting the pin over Bryan Danielson, who's probably, the biggest asset you have in this match. So I think this was a great look for Jack Perry, and I think they might finally actually be behind him. He's one of their young guys. You got MJF to that level. Unfortunately, I don't think we see Sammy Guevara make it to that level. Who was the other pillar? Darby Allin. I think he's at a nice level. For what he's doing, he's like in a unique spot in AEW. So I think what he's doing is fine. You got to get Jack Perry up to that level, though, because, again, I don't know if Sammy Guevara will make it there. But I think they're doing a good job at it.
We were promised to be entertained tonight, and I think we got that, and then some. This was a wild pay-per-view. And I think, honestly, it's weird, right? Because I feel like people say this about every AEW pay-per-view, like, oh, man, this is one for the history books. But, man, this is just... I don't think there's another pay-per-view that I think epitomizes what AEW is all about than this. Which is just...
true.
Non-stop action. Really good wrestling. We got some storytelling in there. And then we got insane, groundbreaking moments like MJF's return. There was something for literally everyone on this pay-per-view. And that is what Tony Khan promised when he started AEW. I think that's what the overall theme was for this show, the 5th year anniversary show. And they delivered. Crowd was hot. Show was great. And I definitely got my $50 worth.
I won't talk about how much I paid for it, but you are absolutely correct. This was definitely worth it. It was a long show, but this is what AEW does, unfortunately. They put on really long shows, but they're also really good shows. So if it was long and bad, then yes, we could complain about it. But hey, at least the show was good.
I will say, so you're right? And I think this is a critique I've definitely had about WWE shows that are 8 hours long or whatever. It is weird with this AEW show, and I usually do feel tired sometimes watching AEW shows. With this one, I just didn't. It was midnight, and I was like, yo, I'm not, I wasn't tired. I wasn't anything. I was locked into this show. And maybe it was just the, not the nostalgia, but the adrenaline of all the stuff that happened on the show. Like that kept me going, and it worked for me at least. I thought this kind of flew by for the most part.
Yeah, for sure. I agree. I mean, you had big surprises on the show, like Tony Khan said there would be. You had good matches, and then you had the whole. What do you even call the main event? I don't know what to call it.
Shit show.
It was.
It was a shit show.
Beautiful. There you go. Perfect. There we go. I don't use profanity, so I couldn't have come up with that one, but that's exactly what it was. But it was beautiful. It was beautiful.
It was beautiful. Where does this last few questions, then we'll just wrap it up here. By the way, guys, be sure to smash that like button, subscribe, hit that notification bell, leave your thoughts in the comments and chat below. What did you think? Where do you think this pay-per-view, ranks as far as the ones we've seen this year?
I would say this one. I don't know if it's because we just saw it, but I think this one might be the best. I think this one might be the best.
In AEW or all of wrestling?
Oh, WWE pay-per-views, I mean, you really get exactly what you came to see, and it's not really anything too spectacular. So I think AEW pay-per-views are always better than WWE pay-per-views, so I wouldn't even put those in the conversation. But that's just me.
But what about when they have The Undertaker on?
That was like 5 seconds, man. It was like 5 seconds.
Oh man!
So yeah, it was cool. But...
Kenny Baum coming at you with the real takes. We love it.
Yeah, I mean, as far as like a show as a whole, like WrestleMania is always a good like spectacle. But as far as like a show with good wrestling, like you had a lot of bad matches on WrestleMania. You really just come for the main event.
I'll agree with that. I thought. Here's my thing, right? For me, and again, this is like rose-colored glasses. The pay-per-view literally just ended. I'll check in and confirm like in a few weeks how I feel about this. This was my favorite show of the year. Like the goosebumps and chills and everything I got watching this show and the fun I had watching this show, like can't compare. And I just thought that they hit it out of the park. Like this was precisely what they needed. They needed to make moments. They needed to feel hot. They needed to feel cool. I thought that MJF promo really helped in that. And I thought like the absolute nuts that this show was kind of will help in that and probably help get the word out and get some extra pay-per-view buys. But yeah, I thought it was great. If I had to give this like out of 10, I would probably give this like a 9. And like that's not like me saying, oh man, this is like there were like a problem with the show. It's just like to say a show is like a 10 out of 10 is hard to do. Like that's like it's genuinely hard to do. But
right.
Yeah, 9.5 out of 10. This was a fantastic show.
Yeah, absolutely. I would say 8 out of 10. I really didn't like the fact that the World Championship wasn't the biggest thing on the show in the main event, but I understand why they put the Anarchy in the Arena at the main event because that match was just insane. But I just like the World Championship to be the focus of all wrestling shows, whether it's WWE, AEW. I think you got to give that World Championship the prestige of being in the main event. So great show. And you know what? I don't usually watch shows and think like, oh man, I wish I was there or I need to go to a show. But watching this one, I was like, man, we should have went out there because it was a great show.
I will say this. If you're a wrestling fan, Anarchy in the Arena is something, Stadium Stampede, Anarchy in the Arena, whatever. It's something you got to experience. Like it is like one of those matches where it's just like, it's crazy stuff happens. Like, watching that in the audience is just wild. You may even get blood on your shoes.
Yeah, like you did. Check the Patreon, y'all, to figure out what happened.
Patreon.com/Real Take Wrestling. All right, Kenny Baum, I know we got to get you out. One more question from Charles. Do you see Becky Lynch coming to AEW after seeing the women's division being more present and highlighted at a high level? Her contract does expire this week, reportedly.
It does, but Seth Rollins confirmed that he signed back with WWE, so I don't see her going without him. Now, maybe she wants to lighter schedule so she can be home with her kid more. I think that would be a very interesting thing if those two were working in different companies. But because he signed, I don't see her going anywhere else. And then she kind of already said out of her mouth, it's never anywhere else but WWE. So I'm staying in WWE. I think I kind of gave her a Russian accent just now, but yeah, she's staying in WWE.
You sound like Kozlov. I love WWE. Me and Santino,
Hey,
we're on tag team championships, no?
What do you think, Omer? You think there's any chance she makes the jump?
I'll say this. Before this week, I gave it a 10% chance. I would give it a 25% chance. No.
Okay. Still fairly low, but you know what? I'm with you because I can see, again, her wanting that extra time with the kid, but still wanting to work. So I think 25 is fair.
I mean, look, it's also money. Like, I don't think it's just like the schedule and everything. I think it's also just money.
Nobody's going to pay her.
Like WWE will pay her, but I think AEW will make. I think they'll match the offer. I genuinely think they would match the offer. Because like as much as like I know people don't want to talk about it, or people don't want to like lean into it. Like there is like a bit of a bidding war between these two. Like there genuinely is, and at a certain point, like these high level talent. If you're AEW, part of the reason they were so hot in 2021, Kenny, was because they were able to get high-level talent to come over, and it made AEW feel like the cool place to be, right? And that's
right.
A little bit of what happened with WWE in 2022. You had Cody come over, right? And it changed the perception. Then you had Punk come over, and like now WWE is more the cool place to be. The Rock comes back, This thing happens in waves. It happens in cycles. The pendulum will shift back and forth. That would be a hell of a way to do it. That's all I will say. Because,
sure.
I'm also like okay. Here's what I'll say. I say 25% chance. That is the same percentage that I gave CM Punk returning at Survivor Series 2023. And bro, I flew out there based off of like that hunch. So
yeah.
Anything can happen. It's a weird time in pro wrestling, but keep your eyes glued to
You're right.
Twitter. Keep your eyes forget Twitter. No, get off Twitter. Get all of your wrestling news, all of your wrestling analysis from two places: YouTube.com/Real Take Wrestling and YouTube.com/Kiss the Ring YT. Your only places you need to go to for all things pro wrestling. Am I right, Kenny?
Boop. You are absolutely correct. I keep forgetting my camera's messed up and I can't dance for the people. But yes, I 100% agree with Omer. Make sure you get all of your news from Real Take Wrestling and come get your reactions for that news that Omer told you about from Kiss the Ring YT. Thanks for having me in here, Omer. I really appreciate you, buddy.
All right. It's always a pleasure, Kenny. Guys, hope you guys enjoyed tonight. Hope you enjoyed this show. Remember to smash that like button, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you get notified whenever new videos released. Until next time, for Kenny Baum, I'm Omer Q. Be happy, be healthy, and as always, keep it real.
Like, yeah, I like this one. I'll just use it.